Welcome back to Boomer's Playground. I had done a couple up to comparisons here, but the freaking screen capture wasn't working, so I'm going to have to go back down. We'll do 2.6, which is just interactions. You really won't use these very much for actual interactions with people, but we'll go over it since it's in here anyways. So alert is just what we've been seeing. It just pops up a modal on the screen, and you can't interact with anything else until you click OK, or you can hit escape. So yeah, it's called a modal. Yeah, visitor can't interact with the rest of the page, blah, blah, blah. Prompt is going to be, it's going to be a pop-up. Oh, we can't even do that. It's going to be a pop-up that has an input field in it. So the first thing is going to be the header or the title. So how old are you? And then this second one, if you ever see this where it's like, you may not know this right now, but it's the open and closing square brackets, which essentially is like an array. This almost always means it's optional. So the title is the text to show the visitor, and the default is what will be in the input. So we'll just pop this up. And so you'll see here's that, how old are you? And then we type in here, and now restall is going to be whatever was typed into the input, and it's always going to be a string. So that's kind of important. So like for instance, this one, right? This one is how old are you? If we were to put 32, it's going to be the string of 32. It's not going to be the number of 32. And I think we'll go over that in the stuff at the bottom. So yeah, so the first one is what it shows, and then the second one can be just another string or whatever, and it would be your age here. And what that'll do is that'll put whatever you have in this input tag there. So sometimes, like if you were to do the how old, you just like maybe default it to 20 or something like that. So it's kind of, it shows the user can be like, oh, cool, I know what I need to put in there. But again, this is not a way that you interact with people through web pages anymore. But since it's on here, we'll go through it. The square brackets are on default to note that the prompt is optional. Yeah, so the visitor can type something in the prompt input field and press OK. Then we get that, which I showed you already. Here we've got the string interpolation to show how old that person is. IE always, so for Internet Explorer, you always have to supply default. Internet Explorer is not a thing. I mean, it's still a thing, but all the new Windows machines are coming with Edge. And so when you see this IE not supported, it's not talking about Edge. It's talking about like the OG Internet Explorer. So not really something you have to worry about anymore, but just kind of a good thing to know. And then confirm. This is just going to be true or false. So it's another modal that pops up. Yeah, let's just do results. Yeah, we'll do confirm. Are you the boss? And so if we click cancel or hit escape, we get false. And I hit cancel there, we get false again. Oh. And if we hit OK, we get true. So that's all confirm is. Like I said, these are not things, you probably won't use these ever. Like we don't use them at work. I don't think I've ever used them in making side projects. So, but they're here. Oh, so yeah, here, create a web page that asks for the name and outputs it. I mean, that's literally just, yeah, so we just have like the prompt. What is your name? We'll do Boomer, and then we'll do And I'm doing the backticks here so that I can use string interpolation. Results. And you'll see what's up, Boomer. And then we also could have done it, old school. And you see we still get what's up, Boomer. So we could have done that any of those couple ways. So that's the interaction thing. Like I said, you won't use that to actually interact with people on your site. Okay, so type conversions. So most of the time, operators and functions automatically convert the values given to them to be the right type. So JavaScript is pretty smart, as is the browser. And so it will do what it thinks is the right thing. It may not always be the right thing, but this is another area where you're just going to run into these things as you're building stuff, and you're going to get stuck. You're going to be Googling around for 30 minutes to an hour, and then you're going to figure it out, and you'll never forget that thing again. Here we're not talking about objects, whatever. So string conversions. String conversion happens when we need the string form of a value. So in alert, even if we were to put, so here you'll see like Boolean, the type of value is that. So then if we do string with capital S, and then we put whatever we want to convert, it's actually going to take that and it's going to return the string of true, not the Boolean of true anymore. And you can kind of see as it's going through right there. String conversions are mostly obvious. False becomes a string of false, null becomes a string of null, so on and so forth. Numerical conversions are a little different. In mathematical functions, they happen automatically. So for example, when we do division, it automatically converts the string of 6 to the number 6, and it converts the string of 2 to the number 2, and then just does the math, and we get 3. We can also do the same thing like we did with a string. We can just do number and put whatever we want to convert in here. If it's a number and it can happen, it will turn it into the number. If it's something that cannot be converted to a number, it will be not a number, the capital N, lowercase a, capital N. Explicit conversions is usually required when we read a value from a string-based source, like a text form, but expect a number to be entered. So this is obviously not something that can be converted to a number, so we're going to get not a number, this one right there. So if you try and convert undefined to a number, it'll be not a number. Null will be 0. True will be 1. False will be 0. Strings will take all of any white space or any, like this is the tab key, and this is the new line key. So these are just like HTML tags that you like escape them if you wanted to like move the string over by like a tab or a new line. So when you try and do a string, it's going to start and end. Every white space or any character like that is going to be removed. If the remaining string is empty, it'll be 0. Otherwise, the number is tried to be converted to a number, and if it can, it'll be that number. If it's something that can't be converted to a number, we will get not a number. And so here, all this white space right there and right there is removed, and then we just get 1, 2, 3. Here we're going to get not a number because Z cannot be converted to a number. Here we get 1 because 1 is a truthy value, true is equal to 1. And then false is going to be 0 because 0 is a falsy value. Please note that null and undefined behave differently here. Null becomes 0 while undefined becomes not a number. Most mathematical operators also perform such conversions, and we'll see that in the next chapter. So all that's saying is, even if we don't have this number wrapped around what we're trying to convert, if we have a mathematical operation, it will automatically attempt that. Boolean conversion, 0 is true, or sorry, 1 is true, 0 is false. The Boolean, this is a string that has stuff in it, so it's true. This is an empty string, and so that's a falsy value. Please note that the string 0 is true, and that's because this is actually going to be converted, or it's not going to be converted, but this string has a value in it. And so that's why we get true, even though it's because it's not the number 0, it's a string which has a value. And then same with just anything with empty spaces, that will be true because, again, there's technically something in there. So in summary, we have string conversion, numeric conversion, and Boolean conversion. These are probably going to be this number one is probably going to be more important than the rest of them, because you'll do a lot of checks with numbers that you're grabbing from the DOM, which will end up being strings. So I think there's an example below, and I'll show you what we can do. Boolean conversion, all these will be false, everything else will be true. So even negative numbers are considered truthy values. 0 is the only number that is false. And then just remember, undefined is not a number as a number, not 0. And like I said, this is just a string that happens to have the 0 string in it. So that will still be true when you try and convert that. So that was type conversions, and I think that'll be enough for this one. And then we're going to get into basic operators and maths in the next video. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.